the same to you.
Thank you very much. Okay, today we are celebrating the 34th International Women's Day on the theme, Crusade Against Gender Inequalities, Accommodating the New Impulse. You know, today, the 8th of March 2019, that's the 34th edition of the International Women's Day, which will be celebrated in Cameroon. This is a moment of great social mobilization, exchange, reflection, cultural and formative activities in relation to the issues on women's rights. The event expresses the willingness of both the international community and the Republic of Cameroon to translate into facts the pertinent commitments of the state within the perspective of gender equality and development. The International Women's Day thus implies a review of the policies adopted with regards to the advancement of the woman as an assessment of the efficiency of these policies. It also entails ensuring the identification of additional measures to be implemented or reinforced in the involvement of new actors. That's just a brief launch into our discussion for today. So I'm going to give the floor to all of these ladies to present themselves.
I am Namodou Sylvia Izuku. I work with the Denis and the Foretia Foundation as the expert assistant fellow.
I am Clarissa Moam, a communications assistant at the Denis and the Foretia Foundation.
Je suis Agathe Jomegou, la directrice des programmes, et je travaille également à la Fondation Foretia.
I'm Mona Juliet, the assistant accountant at the Denis and the Foretia Foundation.
I'm Ansel Lamba, communication manager of the Denis and the Foretia Foundation.
Je suis Bertie Onana, ici. Je suis chercheur à la Fondation Denis et Foundation.
I am Kibo Odette, the health policy analyst at Denis and the Foretia Foundation.
Okay, now we have to understand the theme of this year. That is Crusade Against Gender Inequalities, Committing to the New Impetus. Because it's on the theme that we're going to be having a discussion. The theme highlights the will to translate into real terms the new impetus of the international community and of the highest authority of the state of Cameroon for the promotion of gender equality and the advancement of women's rights in a society geared towards emergence. So we here today, what do we have? We are ladies, we are women, we are wives, we are civil society activists. So I'm just going to open the floor. Ladies, please talk about this thing. What you feel concerned with this thing, so please share your opinions.
Si je me permets,
Yes.
Je crois pour moi ici qu'il est question de s'attarder sur les dispositions prises par l'État pour la promotion de l'égalité des sexes et également l'avancement des droits des femmes au Cameroun dans une société émergente ou alors qui vise l'émergence. Nous commémorons aujourd'hui le 8 mars. Nous parlons de l'émergence des femmes. Mais je me pose une question. Peut-on parler d'émergence lorsque sous nos têtes crépitent les balles? Peut-on parler des festivités du 8 mars lorsque, de l'autre côté, il y a des femmes qui pleurent? Parce que c'est vrai que nous résidons à Yaoundé, mais nous sommes des mères, nous sommes des filles. Donc, forcément, quand moi, j'entends qu'il y a une femme enceinte qui s'est fait tirer dessus, elle est morte et l'enfant est mort, je me sens concernée. Quand dans les nouvelles transparaît peut-être des violences qui sont faites au niveau des femmes, autant des femmes que des hommes, parce qu'après tout, nous sommes la mère de l'humanité, ça veut dire que nos enfants ne sont pas seulement ceux qui sortent de nos ventres. Donc, moi je me pose une question, est-ce qu'on peut parler d'émergence dans le contexte actuel? Est-ce qu'on peut émerger vraiment dans le contexte actuel?
Thank you very much, Madam Agathe. You know, that's actually a very pertinent point you raised. Women and emergence. How do we emerge in the future without looking at the loopholes which we have behind us? I think that is more reason why women have to work in solidarity, not just to wait on the government to create policies that are going to better things for us, but to work in solidarity, to bring groundwork and start doing things from the start. Because when you sow a seed, it grows and everybody gets to benefit from it. Next speaker, please.
Okay, I think I have to follow up on what I just said about the worrying situation where we are celebrating an International Women's Day and we have some women, some mothers, some girls in the bushes, others being shot at by whether the separatists or the military. I just want to buttress on that fact that as we celebrate, we are calling for peace, we are calling for dialogue. So this is not just about celebrating and putting on the nice fabrics that we have. It's about celebrating and calling on the government in a peaceful way, celebrating and praying that the situation that we are going through in the northwest and southwest regions should be called to a stop. So as women, if we make our voices out there to be heard in a peaceful way, not just celebrating by drinking, by putting on beautiful fabrics, but using it as a day for peace, as a day to be ambassadors or advocates for peace and dialogue, then I think it's going to help us towards that emergence that Aka talked about. We cannot emerge by drinking, by going wild, by making a male sex to be the one to take care of the house because we have 1 day out of 365 in a year. Mm-hmm. We can only emerge by assuming our rightful responsibilities, which is that of being peace crusaders and peace ambassadors. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Vera, that's a very interesting point there. Women have to work in synergy. It is not, this day is not just a day for festivities like the woman, that's the lay woman is going to say. It's a day for women to come together in situations like this, in platforms like this that the Dennis and Lenora Foretia Foundation is offering us, to shout out their voices. Cameroon is crying. We need our voices to be heard. We need the lawmakers, the policy makers to listen to us and to save the country.
Like our theme says, crusade against gender inequalities. And when I looked at that, I'm like, crusade against gender inequalities, is that really our problem in Cameroon right now? Is that what women should really be fighting for? However, I was consoled when I wore this because I have this just at my cover, the pocket, that says, Women United for a Cameroon of Peace and Prosperity. And this to me sounds like it. This to me sounds like what we should be advocating for. I think the theme generally every year is always get towards gender inequalities. So the new thing right now is the situation in our country, and I'd like to applaud the contributions from Madam Agad and Dr. Vera, because really this time we have mothers, young people, accomplished women, entrepreneurs in the northwest and southwest regions who cannot, this is an international day celebrating the woman, but due to the current crisis in Cameroon, they cannot be a part of this. Actually, starting today, they are not sitting anywhere, they are not supposed to be anywhere, they are locked in their houses due to insecurity. If we are celebrating a woman, we're not celebrating some women, we're celebrating all women, including the woman who is affected in a crisis, finds herself in a crisis zone. So I think that, like you all have said, we women should think of what ways we as women can ensure that, because you see, women are very vulnerable. For example, we know women are vulnerable. In a crisis situation, a woman gets affected more than a man will. First, a woman is a mother. There are mothers who lost children. There are mothers who have children and they need to breastfeed. So it's a very complicated issue, and I really think that when we celebrate, when we drink, our main focus really should be to send out the message, should be to get our leaders to understand that as women, what we want more than anything else is not even about being equal, but it's about being a priority, despite, irrespective of where we find ourselves, be it in conflict zones or in zones of no conflict.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much, Ansel. You've actually drawn your discussion towards the theme of the day. which I'm going to say again is Crusade Against Gender Inequalities, Accommodating the New Impulse. It's true there's a lot of talk about the theme, given what is happening in the country today. It's true a crusade is a campaign for political or social change. Should it not have been a crusade towards social change in Cameroon? Case study, the Anglophone regions of Cameroon.
Ok. Concernant ce thème, je voudrais m'attarder sur la question finale, le dernier volet de la thématique, New Impulse.
New Impetus.
J'aimerais savoir qu'est-ce qu'on appelle New Impulse en parlant de croisade contre l'inégalité des sexes. Je pense que cette fête devrait être contextualisée de plus en plus. Parce que les dames, malheureusement, lorsque une thématique est sortie et qu'on voit croisade contre l'inégalité, les femmes ont tendance à exagérer le rapport de force, à vouloir exagérer le rapport de force. Donc c'est l'occasion d'envoyer ce message aux femmes que inégalité, égalité ne signifie pas forcément révolution, abus, débordement de tout genre pendant cette journée. La femme doit savoir quel est son rôle encore plus. Je pense qu'il faut le rappeler à chacune des éditions de cette fête. Il faut rappeler à la femme quelle est sa place. Les inégalités, l'égalité entre les hommes et les femmes. Je préfère parler de parité parce que les inégalités, c'est souvent en termes de chance dans le milieu professionnel. Donc, c'est dans cette logique-là que les femmes, la plupart du temps, se sentent lésées ou en déphasage ou défavorisées. Donc, que l'inégalité ne soit pas perçue en termes de révolte, c'est un message que nous devons envoyer aujourd'hui. Et lorsque c'est perçu de cette manière, on peut facilement se poser des questions sur les problèmes urgents que traverse notre société, comme la crise anglophone. Tant que le volet d'égalité est mis en avant, cette fête aura toujours un peu quelques débordements. Donc, c'est l'occasion pour des organisations comme la nôtre de faire des débats. Et je suis vraiment satisfaite parce que de plus en plus dans notre société, cette fête, il y a des conférences autour. De plus en plus, ce qui n'existait pas. Il y a 5 ou 10 ans, parce que lorsqu'on attendait 8 mars, c'était les bars, les débits de boissons. Aujourd'hui, les conférences se multiplient, la sensibilisation est accrue et l'adaptation est urgente de la thématique. Comme Clarissa l'a remarqué tout à l'heure, si on avait associé à cette thématique le problème de la crise anglophone, je pense qu'elle aurait été célébrée autrement. Donc, pour les éditions à venir, nous, une fondation comme la nôtre, nous allons travailler, nous allons peut-être faire des recherches dessus, proposer à nos décideurs d'adapter les fêtes pour pouvoir répondre aux problématiques urgentes de notre société.
Very thank you very much for that contribution. I'm going to cite a quote from Elizabeth Roosevelt. She says, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Talking about inequality, gender inequality. Women and men, right from creation, we are not created the same. So I think the woman should know her place in society. If you want to become a president tomorrow, nobody stops you. You have that zeal in you. You have the ambition in you as a woman. You can cultivate it and become whoever you want to be. It is not a matter of being male or female, but it's a matter of making yourself who you want to be tomorrow.
Okay. Talking about crusade against gender inequality, I wanted to look at it generally, like that's our home and work, because some people still believe with the traditional mentality that as a woman, maybe when you're married, your educational or your career, maybe you need to step down for the man because he's the head to continue the work while you care for the kids. So maybe there can become more conferences to educate women for them to believe, for them to know their potential, like there's no aim in the house. And also with work, most men have opportunity to have jobs than women because they can take risky jobs than women, or if you want to apply for a job that you need to travel more often, they will obviously prefer a man because they will look at maybe you are married, you will not have time to occupy a position. So you realize that there are many women more than men, but they have jobs more than us in the society. So maybe they can train top management too. So now when you want to recruit, they can balance the social and everything so that at the end of the day, it's not like there are more men than women, so that at least they can balance in the society to reduce the inequality.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. Odette, can you react to her point, please?
I think I want to react to this. Let me react, please. It's boiling in me. I want to correct an impression here. Don't live your life based on what society wants. Live your life based on who you are. I am Vera. I was born a daughter of Papa. What are my ambitions in life? What is my vision? What are the goals that I set out for myself as a young girl, getting to a mother and then going to a grandmother? Society should not come and put some barriers to me. And then I say, oh, society has said, woman, your place is in the kitchen. I shouldn't. Woman, don't be a pilot. I will shock you. Cameroon has 2 female pilots.
Yeah. And they're doing well.
Dorothy Joma's daughter, she is a pilot. Society did not stop her from being a pilot. She set her goals way back from childhood to say, I will be a pilot. She did not say, this one is stacked men and cook and chop woman. No. So don't live your life based on society is thinking. What would they think about me? It should be a thing of pride to say, I am a mother. That's where I start my introduction. I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a mother, I am a doctor. Society did not hold me back to say, don't go to school for a PhD. No. I told society, I will be a mother, I will be a wife, I'll be a mother, and I will be a doctor. Whatever comes first. All is, I am getting to that ladder. The man I get married to should not push me or hush me down to say, stop here, I must go up because I'm providing for the house. Since you can equally assist. But what we are celebrating today, what we want, the rural woman in particular, because they are most vulnerable to this issue of inequality. So understand this, we are not fighting with our masculine folk. We are trying to bridge that gap that says the woman's place is in the kitchen. We are telling them that it is our honor, we love the kitchen, but we want to contribute our own little quarter to see that if you are bringing 100 francs and I can bring 50 francs, then our family budget becomes 150, and we're able to move our standard of living a little above the average. So we want to tell the rural woman that your husband should not relegate you to the background and say you should not follow your ambition. Everybody was born for a purpose. And nobody was born to say, go and stay back. If your father invested a dime into your education, it's because he understood that if you educate a woman, you educate the nation. So don't relegate yourself to the background saying, society. Don't tag yourself with society. I'm a strong advocate against that word. Stay behind because society is looking at you with a different eye.
I agree with you, Dr. Strongly agree. And
I
just
sorry. I see Sylvia's point is actually a
Oh,
point.
you know.
Because when you talk about social barriers, a woman gets so concerned. Exactly. But then again, let us not just look at it from that aspect of the men wanting to take the chances. We, the women, do we expose ourselves? Because people, it's easy for most for us to sit and say, you apply for a job and they're going to take a man over you. But will you understand that now a woman is preferred over a man when it comes to a job? If you have the qualifications, they will always choose you over a man. So we, the women, we have to take the step ahead. So I think this is also a call to the rural woman to stand up. Even to the other women who are already there. Educate people. Let people know what is happening. Let us not just sit at home and sit behind and say, no, the man is always going to be preferred instead of the woman. That is not true. Society has opened up. The world is evolving.
And just to add to what Dr. Vera was saying, you have to build your capacity as a woman. Don't sit back and think that somebody's going to build your capacity for you. Or you say, yes, like just like the Premier was saying, society has segregated man from woman, biology has segregated, culture has segregated a man from a woman. But now you have to stand, in fact, you have to go beyond what society has put in place and build your capacity. We can sell out those potentials. And ça me touche beaucoup, especially with HIV and AIDS and the health sector. If you go to the HIV treatment units, you will see most women, the majority are made up of women. And these women work because of gender-based violence. The men, they go out there, they go and mess up their lives. They bring HIV to the house and give the woman. The woman, because she's faithful, because her culture says, be faithful, be faithful to your husband. And she remains faithful to the husband. And at the end of the day, she ends up with HIV. And to add to it, the women come for treatment, and the men don't come for the treatment. And they will still go out there and infect other people, other women again. And you see the woman suffering, the financial hardship, in fact, it's terrible. So we, the women, we have to stand out, build our capacity. You have to talk in your home. Start talking about gender-based violence. Even you have little children in your houses, start talking to them about gender inequality. The way you divide house chores to your children, the way you decision making, you involve everybody in the house. I think if you start from that foundation, we say catch your chicks when they are young and they will remain yours forever. So if you start at that level, we'll build the mentality and balance for better life.
Exactly.
Yes. Just to add something to what Odette said about starting from your home, one thing I'd like to say is that we complain that society, for example, can limit you. Now, who is society? We are society.
We are.
So, for example, if it's not happening in our society today, it's because those who were society maybe at a certain point raised up, in fact brought us up with their ideas. Now we have society in our home, those little guys, those little girls. That's society. Now it's the responsibility, we, in gender equality, as inequality, as people will say, some people will say, no, the man should also be able to take care of kids and bring them up just like the woman would do. But let's be realistic. You would be able to counsel your children and bring them up and raise them better than your husband would be. I don't know if it's natural, I don't know if it's, in fact, maybe it's something, sometimes there are many instincts that I think just happen. It has nothing to do with society. I just feel it. So if we are able to raise those little ones, our society tomorrow will not even have any influence. So we can equally be able to determine how we want society to talk. We can be able to determine how we want society to look at men and women by starting with these kids. Now, and I think that's the importance of talks like this. That's the importance of gatherings like this. If we take many years back, there was nothing going on like this. And if we even look at the difference, it's true Cameroon is not a developed country, but if you look at the difference, let's take, say, 5 years back, and today there's a great difference. Meaning we are progressive, and we will be able to influence society to actually think in the direction that is going to be good for all. And thank you again, Dr. Vera, because I like that statement. Society should not determine who you should be. Society should never look at your potential as a person. For example, I cannot be a mechanic because I do not like it. Not because being a mechanic is for men. That's how it should be. I cannot be a pilot because I prefer being a communication manager. Not because only men are meant to fly planes. That's the mentality that we should bring up with our young people, our young ones, and even amongst people that are peers.
So you see, women actually have a very powerful role to do. We have to educate our children. When they're talking about maybe if we educate our children, because maybe if we educate our children rightly, tomorrow when they're talking about gender inequality, it's going to be the man who will feel inferior, not the woman. Because the woman has so much power. I believe nature is female. I believe society lies in the hands of a woman. So we have to take up the challenge and make today a better today. It's not about making tomorrow, it's about making today better.
If we instill in some children those values,
male children and female. You wash dishes, you do that. It's not a lady to cook. Maybe you can help too, because tomorrow you go to university, someone will cook for you. So we instill into them such values. Tomorrow, the man will not say, no, sit in the house while I go to work. You just sit in the house. Why? Because he has his values. He has a background from his mom, from the education he got. So I think us doing that at home as mothers will really be a great deal and will help to reduce gender inequality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juliette.
Je pense qu'aujourd'hui, on ne devrait même pas parler de festivités. Parce que, je vais dire, nous sommes en plein, nous sommes en larmes. Peut-être que les autres éditions du 8 mars, bon, on pouvait encore, il y avait la paix, ça veut dire qu'on pouvait encore s'asseoir devant un bon plat de poulet léger et autres. Mais je pense que les femmes doivent vraiment se mobiliser pour lancer un appel à la paix. Les femmes doivent se mobiliser. Parce que même si nous voulons lutter contre ces inégalités, il faudrait bien que nous soyons en vie, n'est-ce pas? Il faudrait que nos enfants soient en vie, il faudrait que nos époux soient en vie. S'ils ne le sont pas, on ne peut pas parler de lutter contre quelconque inégalité. Donc, je voudrais profiter de cette occasion vraiment pour faire appel au gouvernement, faire appel aux forces séparatistes de pouvoir établir une plateforme de discussion. Une plateforme de discussion. Le président de la République a l'habitude de parler dans la majorité de ses discours, il fait état de la place qu'il accorde à la femme. N'est-ce pas? Vous convenez avec moi, il fait état de la place qu'il accorde à la femme. Alors, nous les femmes, de manière particulière de la Fondation Foretia, et je suis sûre de manière générale, nous les supplions de trouver une solution à cette situation qui perdure. Parce que moi, dans ma maison, pendant que j'ai un plat devant moi à manger, je mange, mais à l'intérieur du cœur, je suis attristée. Je dis bien, nous sommes francophones, mais nous avons des enfants qui fréquentent dans les universités au sud-ouest. Nous avons peut-être des frères qui travaillent de ce côté-là. Donc, nous ne pouvons pas dire que nous ne nous sentons pas concernés. Nous sommes concernés. Et puis, nous avons des mariages. On a plusieurs mariages où on a l'un francophone, l'autre anglophone. Donc, on ne peut même pas parler de différence. On ne peut pas parler de différence. Parce que même s'il y a une différence au niveau linguistique, je pense qu'au niveau des cœurs, il n'y a pas de différence. Donc, j'appelle également à la première dame. Parce qu'à côté, nous avons les décideurs. À côté d'eux, ils ont des épouses. Vraiment, on dit souvent il y a des heures spécifiques où on peut chuchoter aux hommes oui, qui sont peut-être plus réceptifs à vous. Il faudrait que les femmes pensent à faire quelque chose. Ils pensent à faire quelque chose. C'est dommage qu'on se retrouve dans une situation pareille et que le pays est en train de souffrir, l'économie du pays est en train de souffrir. À l'heure où nous parlons présentement, il y a plusieurs vies qui sont en train de tomber de l'autre côté. Donc, cessons de faire comme si tout va bien. Nous, on voudrait que la paix revienne au Cameroun. Merci.
C'est vrai, on parle d'éducation, on commence dans les familles, mais combien parmi toutes ces femmes sont aussi éduquées que nous? Combien sont allées à l'école? Nous sommes dans les métropoles, dans les grandes villes, mais il y a des femmes qui sont dans des localités éloignées, qui ne savent pas spécialement qu'on peut inculquer à la femme autre chose, à la petite fille, autre chose que laver les assiettes et être à la cuisine. Donc, c'est là où le rôle du gouvernement est vraiment important, comme Madame vient de le dire. Je suis vraiment d'accord que le gouvernement a un très grand rôle à jouer et il est temps que cela se passe, que ça sorte du cadre des conférences, mais que ça se passe dans les faits, dans le palpable, que ce soit concret.
Okay. So I want to say, it's not only about relying on the government, we rely on ourselves. We have so much power that God has, that's life, that nature on its own has invited us. Let's use that power in a positive direction, in a positive way. Let's not use that power to fight our men. Let's use that power to continue to call for peace. Let's use the power to continue to educate our fellow women, our fellow children, our fellow men. Educate them on peace. Educate them on accepting your role in society. If God made you to be a woman, be proud of it. Stand tall and assume that responsibility and do what God ordains you to do. Don't try to use it and say, when we went to Beijing, Beijing said woman equal man. No. Nature made it that way. You cannot be the two at the same time. The man has his own role to play. The woman has her own role to play. If we assume our responsibilities, we assume our different and respective roles, then I think we'll not be talking about inequality. Because in that inequality, there is an equality. And we want to look at the equality. It's not going to be about negativity, it's going to be about positivity. Look at the fact that you can apply for a job and you're privileged over that man. Female candidates are particularly encouraged because they know we tap ourselves, society has said, don't. Use that clause. Stand out and say, I'm one of those females who is ready to pick up that challenge.
Confidence.
Don't say, I cannot travel at short notice. Tell them I am even more than ready to fly that plane for informing my husband. You are there to work. He knows. He gave you effort. Go and work. So if you go to the office and they say you're flying the next 1 hour, why not? You speak the lovely words to his ears and he's going to say, oh yeah, start going. Because he knows that you're not fighting him. What the men don't want to hear is the aspect of us saying, we are equal because you're flying and you must fly. No. Assume your role. When it's time to be a mother, be a mother. When it's time to be a wife, be a wife. When it's time to be a boss, be a boss. Know how to marry all of this and bring some sort of equality in a positive way.
Moi, je pense qu'il y a de la beauté dans la différence. Par exemple, sur la terre, si on n'avait que des roses rouges, on n'apprécierait pas, c'est-à-dire on ne verrait pas la beauté de la rose rouge parce qu'on a des roses rouges, on a des roses de couleur blanche. C'est parce qu'on a des diversités, par exemple au niveau de la faune, c'est parce qu'on a la diversité même au niveau de végétal, je vais dire même dans nos légumes qu'on a au marché. Donc, l'homme a sa place, la femme a sa place. Moi, je pense que la relation homme-femme, c'est une relation de complémentarité. Et bien entendu, également, les femmes sont pleines de potentialités. Elles ne vont pas se limiter à cela juste parce que Dieu leur a fait femme. On est femme, bon, on peut assumer un poste de responsabilité, mais quand on rentre à la maison, on devient des épouses, on devient des mères, et on assume ce rôle-là pleinement et avec joie. Je pense que si les femmes conçoivent la chose de cette façon, il n'y aurait pas, on ne parlerait pas, ou alors on va diminuer une bonne quantité d'inégalités, comme ils le disent.
So with that, to me, I can only say, as women, we should try to always innovate for change. Be the change maker that we want to see. Bring on board innovative ideas that can change and move our society forward. So, innovate for change is my motto for this year, 2019.
Do you have an end word for that again?
Comment les fins? J'aimerais adresser mes remerciements pour moi, ou alors nos remerciements, parce que j'ai constaté que le panel n'est fait que des dames de la Denis et Lenora Foretia Foundation. Donc je voudrais ici remercier monsieur et madame Foretia, parce que ici au niveau de la fondation, les mêmes chances sont données autant aux dames qu'aux monsieur. D'ailleurs, je ne sais pas si vous avez été curieux, nous sommes 9 dames au niveau de la fondation contre, bon, on va dire contre, avec, parce qu'on est pas qui travaillons avec 9 messieurs, exactement. Donc, vous voyez que les mêmes chances sont données autant aux femmes qu'aux hommes. Donc, nous, ici, au niveau de la fondation, nous n'avons pas besoin de lutter contre quelconque qui avons les mêmes chances. Et nous voulons ici remercier les fondateurs. Et également, pour clôturer, vraiment, mesdames, vous êtes pleines de potentialités. Ne laissez rien vous stopper. Merci.
Well, they say, women be submissive, women be faithful, but don't be stupid. And equally, they also say, women, speak up for yourself. don't be afraid to fight for your dreams. It's been a lovely time with the ladies of the Dennis and Lenora Foretia Foundation, and it's really been so enriching. I think we should have more opportunities like this for women to come together, and probably next time we're going to have the men with us to share and discuss on our ideas on the role of a woman in the society, on the place of a man in the society as well. And together we'll see how we can forge ahead to make Cameroon better. And also, we should also think of those who are in the crisis zones, to see how we can support them by our prayers, by our assistance, by also stepping up to somebody in the government and saying, please look into the situation in Cameroon, because it is really alarming. So we are grateful to the Dennis and the Foretia Foundation, especially to our founders, for giving us this opportunity to say a word out to our brothers and sisters who are going to be listening to us. So I'm going to call on the ladies who are here. You've been giving us papers. Please, we're going to read out the word, which is the awards we stand for. We have this, they are not limited to this, there are many other words we stand for. So we are going to read out the words and look it into the camera. We'll start from the end, please.
Balance for better.
Women for peace and prosperity.
Women, we should build a smart future.
Education for all.
No to social barriers.
Woman power.
Think equal.
Women innovate for change.
Thank you very much, ladies. Can we give a round of applause for us?